Hello, I'm Sam from Sound and Sound magazine. I'm at SynthFest UK in Sheffield. I'm with Q from Advanced Music Construction System. Hello, how are you?
I'm fine, thank you.
Excellent, well, great to meet you. Advanced Music Construction System is it's a new name for me, and this is a new and very cool looking product, the WW7. So tell us a bit about yourself and the company.
Yeah, well, I'm a small company from Bristol. Basically started making the AMCS unit out of a hobby. Basically started DJing, wanted to play music live, and then eventually developed this system in order to cater for that.
So what we're seeing on the screen here it's very reminiscent of the old trackers, like
yeah,
the Ega and
well, that's pretty much why it looks like it does, because I originally came from the Acorn Archimedes A3000, had the system running on that, and the Archimedes was, it's an 8 megahertz, 2 megabyte RAM computer, very limited, but I pushed as much as everything I could out of it, and the to get the video to go quicker, you go 16 colors, so that's why it's restricted to the 16 color palette, and that's why it looks like it does.
So you've now ported it into what looks like a standalone box, is that right?
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
So what's that running on?
That's via Wonder Media APC 8750 board in there, which is an ARM11 board. Basically, I think it's about 1.6 gigahertz. It's dual processor. And yeah, just basically decided to port it to that because I've gone from other VIA technology to that as an ultimate goal.
So is there from a programming point of view, is there quite a clear thread running from those Archimedes machines?
Yes,
up to the modern RISC machines?
Back in the day, obviously the Acorn Archimedes was the first commercially released machine with an ARM chip in it, the ARM2. And I basically got into ARM that way. Acorn folded eventually in 97, 98, but ARM spun out of that, and that's basically the chip we've got in all our mobile phones, tablets, laptops, even in the Switch. Nintendo Switch has got ARM chips in it. So it's basically because that became a thing in the mobile market. Embedded boards suddenly became a thing as well. So it was stupid not for me not to go towards that technology as a long run.
Yeah, and so how are you implementing it on this then? Are you coding it all, hard coding?
Yeah, it's all written in assembler. It was. It's. I mean, the reason why I started it was because on the Acorn Archimedes I was using a program called WIMP Tracker, which was a sample-based tracker program. I wrote a load of music on that. As great as it was, I started getting into DJing. Started to realise that the music on the vinyl was a damn sight better quality than 8-bit samples. And I thought, how are they making music? Realised there were MIDI synthesizers involved. Obviously, the Acorn didn't have a MIDI tracker, and I thought, well, I've got to use MIDI gear. So I started writing my own system, and eventually it got to the point where, because I started writing in BASIC, that was causing it to be slow, so I wrote the player in assembler. That was still too slow, so I rewrote the whole thing in assembler. By 2001 it was this interface and totally in assembler. And then RISC OS was getting in the way, which was the operating system it was running on. So I replaced all the bits out which AMCS was using from RISC OS. And basically it was completely its own operating system at that point. But then I realised the A3000s were getting few and far between, difficult to source, couldn't turn that into a product, because somebody had said, oh, why don't you turn it into a product? So basically completely rewrote it and made it work on the more modern ARM systems. So.
I think that's the most hardcore product development pathway I've ever encountered.
I know. Everybody will rip me for it one day.
So in its current incarnation, sort of what are its features?
It's basically it's 256 tracks, 256 steps. The interface is similar to Tracker in that the notes go top down and the tracks are left to right columns. But it kind of ends there with Tracker because you can set each individual track start and end individually on each track, so that you can have lots, like 256 polyrhythms if you wish. Obviously, you're not intended to do that, but you can have that many polyrhythms, and then you then mix the tracks in independently with the mixer.
And is it handling samples internally as well, or just MIDI?
It does MIDI. It's mainly for MIDI because obviously you get all your royalty-free samples on with a synthesizer. Much better way of working, but it does do internal samples and it has internal synthesis. Synthesis is a bit quirky. Kind of you stack your oscillators and your effects in the instrument setup, and then when you trigger the instrument, it then triggers all it cascades all the instruments after that. And the same with MIDI. If you want, say, one MIDI instrument to be triggering another one as well, you can just stack the MIDI instruments that way as well.
Cool. So presumably you need a QWERTY keyboard and a monitor.
No,
that's all
when
part of the system, is it?
When you buy the system, you get the box, you get a USB MIDI cable, and you get a touchpad keyboard included. The only thing you need is a screen and a workstation box to make the sounds with, or a synthesizer, or a load of synthesizers.
Wow. Well, that is an awesome achievement. So
Thank you.
well done. I'm hoping you're going to show us how it works in hands-on in a second.
I'll try.
But so is this actually available to buy now?
Yeah. I've got a limited stock because, like I said, Fire have pulled out the embedded board market now. So I've got to create some new prototypes. So if anybody's buying one now, they'll either get one of these. If I run out of stock, I'll say everybody can have your money back, or you can wait and I'll develop a new one in a few months and you get the new one. And that'll be more powerful and have all the same features.
And how much is it going to cost?
Well, this is 250 quid, so about 249.
Wow, amazing.
Yeah. I've got to play underdog, haven't I? I'm new to the market. Nobody knows what the system does half the time, so it's kind of I've got to be competitive.
Oh well, I'm looking forward to seeing what it does. Thank you, Keith. Great to meet you.
Thank you very much. Yeah, well, this is the mixer. Basically, the way this is playing is it's a preset song done in the event sequencer, which I've done obviously for the demo shows. But you don't necessarily use a system like this. You can use it real time, sort of pull in the presets when you want. This is your track editor. Obviously, I've sequenced all the kick drums and hi-hats and the stabs and everything separately. So the mixer is sort of bringing in and out the presets. Let's see.
Automation going on there.
Yeah. It's a 256 track mixer basically, which mixes all the individual tracks in and out separately. Because that's basically the way you use it. You have all your loops. 256 loops. Well, it's 256 loops. You don't necessarily have to use all 256 tracks. You can say compartmentalize the tracks into say 16 for one song, 16 for another song, 16 for another song. Then mix between the songs as well, so it's mixing the tracks themselves. So I do a radio show with a mate of mine, and I've done a few shows where I've done an hour's worth of live music, and I'd mix between the different tracks that I made up in that hour, and that with breakdowns as well.